Let's see.
Yeah, my name is Tiffany Plunkett. I'm 32 years old. I'm a heroin and crack cocaine addict, and I live in Dublin. I'm homeless.
Tell us a little bit about your story. What's your current situation?
Well, currently I'm couch surfing. I was sleeping rough. I'm homeless now 3 years. My father was homeless with me at the start, but he got sick and he died. He was told a stroke, his eyesight went, and he was in the tent with me. And but they basically pulled him back out on the street until his sister went mad and they gave him an MRI and he was riddled with cancer. And they gave him 7 to 9 months. He lasted 7 months, but that's kind of why I lost motivation trying to get a place, because they wouldn't even put us in the same place, like the same hostel, and his eyesight was gone. He was on the top floor, and so they wouldn't help with him. And he, as I said, he actually died 5 times in the tent, and I was just lucky I kind of knew how to revive him. But
so you're living in a tent with your father, and was he addicted as well?
Yeah, he was an addict as well. Yeah, that's it.
What about your mother, Tiffany?
When my mum died, my mum was a brain tumour. She died 6 years ago. Then that's when I got into crack cocaine, and it was me and my dad mainly looking after her. And she was in Harold's Cross, and I think it was just bad timing to get into it then. And that's what, as I said, that's what I was in. At the start, I was still doing an accounting technician course at 6 months left, but obviously that was kind of too much of a toll that I just went a bit off the rails.
But you were on heroin through the course?
I was on heroin, yeah. I was on heroin during it, but I was managing when I was just on heroin. It was kind of the crack cocaine when everything fell apart. But
have you any children yourself, Tiffany?
No. One thing I was clever about was not having kids. Can't mind myself, never mind kids. But I don't know.
What about siblings?
I have an older sister. She just had her first kid, so I wouldn't bring my shit to her door.
Of course.
But she lives out where I grew up, out in Lochshinny. But I was closer with my mum. But my mum was bipolar, and my sister has a lot of kind of resentment towards her. But and then she was an alcoholic and on heroin. But give me her on heroin any day, believe it or not. Alcohol was horrible.
You were brought up by 2 heroin addicts. Is that fair to say?
My grandparents raised me, but I raised me and my sister out, as I said, Lochshinny. But my sister, she was a bit of a bully, so I kind of left the house more because it was upsetting my grandparents with her was fighting. So I thought if I wasn't there, and I was 14, and I moved up with my mum, and my mum, she wasn't bad, or I wasn't neglected or anything, but she just wasn't in it to be maternal. She was kind of more when I was about 16, I kind of became more of the mother, put it that way. Yeah. But and then with alcohol, that's one thing I was lucky enough I got turned off alcohol.
Sure.
So, but
and tell us, you were saying, when you went to that, you were doing a course. What was that course you were doing?
It was just a VTAC level 6. Yeah. I done an IT one because I left.
What was it?
It was through FOSS, but the VTAC level 6 was an accounting technician course. It was just a 2-year course, and I had 6 months left. And I was getting okay marks. Obviously, if I wasn't on heroin, I would have done better. But I was managing. I was, you know what I mean. I was.
Yeah, I was just interested to know what you would have been studying. Interest.
Well, that's it. Yeah, well, I was just good with maths. I don't know. I'd say I probably would have gotten into tax if I had have stuck it through rather than accountancy.
So tell us, Tiffany, what's your day like? It's a reasonably nice summer's day today. But what's your normal day like?
Usually just end up tapping, because when you're sleeping rough or homeless, you're constantly having to buy stuff, and I stay in a friend's, but I don't really be there during the day. And from night to night, I don't really know if I'm definitely going to be staying there or not.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Insecure,
but the hostels, I'm just because when I was sleeping rough, I ended up in hospital with pneumonia. But then I had a bacterial infection on my heart and holes in my lungs, and then they found clot in my leg and thought I had a clot in my lung. So I nearly died, so I'm a bit afraid to stay out again. But that's how much I was avoiding the hospitals. Like, you're alright if you get in a room with someone who's okay, but 90% you get dickheads. So, you know.
Yeah.
And as well, I tend to stay away from the city centre because it's just a bit mental in there nowadays.
That's what I wanted to ask you. As you are you out here on your own? Do you have a partner out on the street?
No, it's just a friend. It's just my mate, yeah. I kind of keep to myself when it comes to other addicts. Like, not that, there's loads of fucking, you meet the salt of the earth, but
there's out here too,
and especially around now, it's like a new breed when it comes to crack cocaine. It's a very cutthroat fucking. But my mate, he's older and he's kind of more old school and just.
He kind of looks out for you.
Yeah. So lucky enough, because before that it was just me and my dad. And my dad, God love him, he went out of his way when I was younger to fucking 5 years of no one had said to me. But.
So your mum and dad have passed.
Yeah. And then see, my grandparents passed then before that, and I just had my sister, but as I said, she had her first kids, and she's just very different life. Yeah. So, yeah, no, 100%. I wouldn't feel right being around my niece when I'm like this. Do you know what I mean? So
just tell me, Tiffany, just you as a person now, you're 32, so?
Yeah, 32.
Are there any hopes to snap up out of this?
Yeah, it was just.
Do you envisage seeing a time where in this life you'll kind of pull up out of this and find some peace?
Yeah, well, it's more because I think I've never been an adult sober. So it's kind of a big, it's nearly like a comfort blanket, I suppose, because it's very hard to break something that you're not used to, especially if there's not really much left around that you're used to.
Sure.
So, I was in treatment years ago, and I was only in there 3 weeks, but then someone came in and they were out of it, and I didn't think it got in my head, but it did. And then I was trying to get into treatment at the start of me getting homeless. And honest to God, if you had a charge sheet, you'd be in next week, put it that way.
It's easier to get in when there's serious.
Like it's just a waiting list, or, you know.
Tell me, you just came out of treatment, where were you?
I was down the Lantern, which they were very good down there.
Was that for stabilising?
It was just a detox, it was 6 weeks, and then you go on to rehab. But in fairness now, in the hospital, they were talking about respite. But,
did you go on to rehab?
No, I only lasted 3 weeks, but I loved it. That's the thing. I was disgusted with myself because it was just when the person came in and they were goofing from gear, and then 2 days later I'd left. I didn't think it got in my head, but it was kind of, I don't know why they should have.
You can see why there is a rehab for after the detox.
Yeah.
You can see that now, you know, because we're not strong enough. When you just remove the drugs, you might feel a bit better.
Oh, well, it's the physical part is horrible and all, but that's probably the easier one. It's changing your mindset.
What would you say to the young kids out there that are messing with drugs now and think it's all exciting and new?
Well, if I'm not a walking advertisement for why not to, because you wouldn't even recognise me compared to what I used to look like, and it's just not worth it. It's just a dreary.
Looking girl.
But like it's just a real. It just goes deeper and deeper with it, and then it's harder to get out of it.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? And you'd be promised the world, moon and stars by all of these fucking like users, but it's just shit talk. You know what I mean? It's just depression. It's just depressive. Like there's nothing positive in it.
It's soul destroying.
That's it. And you just end up.
Kills your soul.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And you just end up stuck in it. And just doing the same thing in and out. So, you know.
What do you need, do you think, from society?
I don't know.
It's a hypothetical question.
Well, it's just even having some sort of stability or something that's my own, that I'm not fucking constantly in a worry. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're just.
What could be done for you? Would you like to go in somewhere like a respite?
Yeah, but that's no. Like I'd like to go to detox as well, and my health keeps like. Whatever was wrong with me, I haven't gotten back to normal. It keeps kind of popping up.
But it's going as long as you use, you know that.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, well, and I think it's crack as well. It destroys your lungs. You know what I mean? So.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just, it's part of it's my own head. But if you have nothing, then it's like, well, what's the point of it? But if you have like even just your own place or something,
something to live for.
Yeah,
Yes.
Instead of just fucking going, fuck this.
And you know what the terrible thing is? You've got to get that kickstart first before they'll entrust you with something.
Yeah,
Do you know?
yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword.
That's what I mean. It kind of makes it feel near like punishment. Even if you go on like I was on methadone 9 years and I came off it because it's like I went there for help, but they kind of treat you like, well, we'll cut your dose or this if you're not doing this. Or you're not I'm not here for fucking because I'm in trouble. I was here because I was looking for help.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
Yeah.
So have you got anything in place about treatment or anything?
Well, that's like I kind of fucked it up when I was in hospital and that, but I have to get a key worker, and I think it was one Dottie Doolin said he'd help me in that, so it's kind of more just getting everything back on track. But I've done it so many times now that it's like, as I said, you start to kind of go, here, what's the point? Nothing's happening. And I think you have to kind of go through the hostel road to even get a place, because otherwise you're kind of just getting forgotten about. But yeah, so it's just kind of, I have to knock on doors more, but I have knocked on them a few times and it doesn't always work out, so
yeah, and you just got to keep trying. So
that's it.
You get to a point where your body and mind and spirit will be so exhausted, you won't want to live.
But that's what, like, even if I stayed it one night now, I know it'd fucking probably kill me. It's just my body's not able for it. Whatever I done to my lungs, I damaged them bad. So
I can relate to that.
Yeah, and then it's like I like being around in Chicore and that, because it's where I know people and that. Because I'm on my own now, do you know what I mean? So. And
there are locals and regulars that are good to you. And
that's I get on with everyone around here. I'm never in trouble or anything, and I'm never like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I try to be respectful as much as I can.
Well, it was actually such a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, put me on to you, because he sees you regularly and chats with you, and he said, the girl I think I should interview in Chicore. And so I'm thank you for taking the time to speak.
No worries.
I think your voice is very important, even if it's only to reflect a bit of the pain that you go through. You were born to two addicts, unfortunately, who I'm sure in their sick and ill state did their best by you in their own way, and people may not understand that, but I do. Well, it was more just that it was easy to get to. Like my dad was very good, like, in fairness, and my mum just wasn't well, so I wasn't abused or wasn't neglected or anything like that, thank God. And my grandparents were great, so I understand.
Just fucking
Tiffany, I really wish you the best with that. I hope the year picks up for you. Keep chipping away at that treatment. It doesn't matter. I was in treatment over 36 times. That's
you can take loads.
But you try and keep yourself well enough until it does,
That's the plan.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank
Your voice
you.
is very important.
Yeah.